Welcome to 7 for 12. This is the place to be after every single day of the English Test match, or the international cricket summer. And good, bad, ugly, we'll review everything that's happened throughout the summer. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review, and we'll definitely get back to you. Today has been a shocker for England on day one of the Trent Bridge Test match. My good mate, Jon Norman from TalkSport, has been at the ground, listening to the atmosphere. Jon, what have you made of today?
Well, it's a disappointing crowd that's trooping out Trent Bridge as I speak, Harmy. England at one stage handily placed 138 for 3, and they crumbled. 183 all out. And as Mike Atherton said on the TV coverage, it was only when Bairstow and Root were batting that they resembled a test match side. The gulf between the Indian bowlers and the England batsmen at times was far too vast. 4 English batsmen registering ducks, and only Joe Root and possibly Sam Curran emerging with any real credit. India at stumps 21 without loss. We have got plenty to discuss here on 7 for 12. Oh, sorry, Harmy. Sorry, didn't see you there. I'm just reading the programme notes here at Trent Bridge. The coach, English coach, Chris Silverwood. Our game plan is not rocket science. We need big first innings runs. So, yeah, we've been here before, haven't we? All out, and apart from when Bairstow and Root were batting for a very, very short period of time, India absolutely dominated. And let's be honest, Harmy, what's happened today here on day one at the start of a marquee test series against an Indian side that possess all the armoury to make life very, very difficult, with a backdrop of the 100 and people saying that this series hasn't demanded the attention of the cricket-loving public and sports-loving public in England in the manner that it should. Well, England today have absolutely fluffed their lines. It's been embarrassing. And it's very, very difficult to see how it can possibly improve from here.
No, I agree. I think when I look at what's happened and the game, the only thing that really has happened is Joe Root's turned up. He's won the toss and he's performed like a test batsman. The rest of the batsmen have just not turned up at all. You talk about what Chris Silverwood said in his notes. It's just not good enough. And I find myself hard sitting here on, it's not, you don't play the blame game. You try to understand what's happened, try to make sense of where or what the plan is or where England are. And unfortunately, I can't see it. I don't understand. I don't really know whether to blame the players, blame the system. I think a little element of both. And what I mean by blaming the system, I'm not in the camp of Kevin Peterson saying, we've got to go down franchise stuff. It's not that too extreme, because county cricket has produced 18 counties who have produced an England team winning Ashes, and we're winning, being the best team in the world. So we've gotten to that point before. I think we have to have a good look at ourselves. We picked 3 players today in a side who hasn't played any first-class cricket in this season so far. We're nearly 20 weeks in, nearly 65% of the English summer, and we've picked 3 players who haven't played a game. That, for me, is not good enough. The way we performed at the top of the order is not good enough. And the world is on Joe Root's shoulders. It seems to be a occurrence every single time that the England captain either goes in front of a camera or goes out to bat, that wickets fall around him. He ends up having to bat on his own. And today, unlike in Sri Lanka, where England won the 2 test matches largely, really only because of the England captain, he's had his day spoiled by some inept batting, some inept decision-making, some poor shot selection, on a day where Joe Root has gone to the highest run scorer in the history of the game in England. So it's very, very difficult to put your finger on who's to blame, what's to blame, or how things need to change. What I will say is India bowled fantastically well. And as good as India bowled, England performed absolutely abysmally in the other direction.
I'm just having a look at my notes. Was it really only 6 months ago. 6 months ago, almost to the day, Joe Root 218. England beating India in Chennai to go 1-0 up in the 4-test series. That seems like a long, long time ago. But you are right. We need to talk about India because they look a fearsome unit. They sprung a bit of a surprise. No Ashwin at the start. Going in with 4 seamers. England also dropping their sole spinner. Of course, Jadeja does bowl and play for India. But, you know, Siraj, Shami, Bumrah, and Thakur making up the 4-pace attack. And they all took wickets today. They all struck when their captain needed them to. Thakur with 2 wickets in an over. Just when England looked like they might be getting a foothold in the game, India just whipped the rug away from them. And when the conditions changed after tea here at Trent Bridge, they became uber bowler friendly, and Jasprit Bumrah took advantage, as did India. It was a clinical performance from the visitors that really, really suggests they are going to be a massive force in this series over the next 5 test matches.
Yeah, and congratulations to them. They got the ball in the right area and they asked test match questions, and that for me, there was no rocket science, but from the Indian bowlers, had the ball well, bowled very well. But you have to, as a batting unit, you have to have a counter punch. You have to be able to withstand pressure. That's what test match cricket is. In England, we're just all at sea. It seemed at points and passages of today. I was watching a test match when Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami were bowling at Joe Root. It was a test match. Joe batted beautifully. His balance was great. His decision making was good. His defence was solid. But then when you were standing watching the other end, and you're thinking, well, it's like watching it's men against boys. It really was men against boys. Crawley again got out just before a break. Bairstow looked comfortable, getting out just before a break. For me, they were the only 2 that looked so that had a little bit of defence. Sibley, 18 runs in the first session. 18 runs in the first session. And I agree with what you said earlier. You said he's got to be there at the end of the second session for that to warrant, the way he's played. And for me, I just think England's batting unit is all at sea. You mentioned the Chennai Test match. England won 2 Test matches in Sri Lanka, largely down to Joe Root. And since that Chennai Test match, England have had 1 score of 300 plus, 1 score of 250 plus, 1 score of 200 plus, and 9 scores of under 200. That, for me, tells the whole tale of the England batting unit. 31 scores of 0 in 9 Test matches from the England batting unit. And the alarming point of it is 21 of them were from the top 7. That tells you exactly where the England batting unit is at this moment in time. And off the back of this is the first Test match out of 10 against India, who have got an unreal bowling attack. And then you go to Australia, who you could argue are just as good, if not better, in their own country. If this is the start of 10 Test matches where England's batting unit is, something's going to drastically change.
Yeah, absolutely. And today could have gone worse, could have gone worse, could have gone better for India. But essentially, they had 2 decisions that they had to review on another day. I don't think Kohli reviews that Crawley caught behind. And then, of course, Bairstow's not given out leg before wicket as well, just before the break. So they overcame those hurdles. They lost the toss. They overcame that hurdle. And let's be honest, England were 2 down at lunch. They could have been 4 down. India bowled beautifully in the morning session. It was only for a period of about 45 minutes to 50 minutes before the tea break, where Bairstow and Root took the score past 100. Root was looking at his fluent best, actually. He looked really good. Looked like he'd had a bit of a break in the lead up to this Test match. His weight transference was excellent. He was being aggressive, trying to put the pressure back on India. And just for a while, it looked like Virat Kohli was chasing the ball a little bit. But that dismissal of Bairstow on the stroke of tea, following it up with Lawrence in the same over, essentially, after tea, that as soon as that happened, you just knew England were going to fold, and fold they did, apart from Sam Curran, who...
the writing was on the wall. And again, you give a good bowling attack, favourable conditions, because the conditions did turn favourable. I still believe Joe Root made the right decision at the toss. It was a win the
toss.
He
had to bat. Had to bat.
Absolutely win toss bat first. And the teams are allowed to bowl well. Mohammad Shami put the ball in the right area all day. Didn't get much luck in the first session. Bumrah bowled very well first session and bowled brilliantly at the tail. But you're right, it was a test match. When Bairstow and Root were going, it looked like a test match. Great test match, great contest in English conditions, proper English conditions where the ball's moving around a little bit. You want a good contest between bat and ball. The batsmen are just starting to get on top. And sadly, Johnny gets out. And I think once you knew Johnny got out, the clouds came over that little bit more, a little bit thicker. Just after tea, the lights came on. And the writing was on the wall for the England team. And if it wasn't for a little cameo by Sam Curran at the end, it could have been a lot worse. And when you look at it, the way India came out to bat, they showed you how to face the brand new ball in English conditions. They left the ball well, knew where their off stump was, less moving parts. Broad Anderson bowled. I thought the bowled okay. You could say people will criticise and say touch wide. I didn't think so because that's how you're going to get KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma out playing away from your body. Jimmy and Stuart are very, very experienced. They'll be saying, we'll hang it out there because we know outside off stump, we know that they look to score, look to play away from their body. And they didn't. They left the ball nicely and they showed our batsmen how to face the brand new Duke ball in favourable conditions. And that was the sad thing for me. It was when England got a chance to bowl, I thought, you know what, we could be on for a game here. The lights are on, the cloud cover's heavy. But I thought India batted very, very well, test match style, to get them to the closer player and thoroughly deserved to dominate that first day. And ominous signs for England moving forward.
Okay, well, look, if you've enjoyed what you see so far, this is 7 for 12 is where we're going to be following every single day's play. Myself, John Norman from TalkSport in the UK, and the former world's best bowler and double Ashes winner, Steve Harmison. Please remember to subscribe and review. But now it's time for Moment of the Day. So, Harmy, there was precious little to laugh about today, but there was some milestone moments. For me, I'm going to have to talk on a negative level, but for you, Joe Root becoming the most successful international batsman in English history.
Yeah, that is my moment of the day. As much as I'm in awe of the way the bowlers bowled, and as a former fast bowler, I was licking my lips at the conditions that they were in. But you can't go away from what this guy's done for England. For me, the first time I saw him, I played a game with him for Yorkshire down at Hampshire, and from that moment on, I knew this kid was destined for greatness. He is the greatest player. That's, for me, the greatest batsman we've ever produced, and he's gone by Sir Alistair Cook in a milestone, which is the leading run scorer in the history of the game. And that, for me, tells me he is the greatest. And it's just a sad day to go past that milestone, because the full house, and I'll come on to that in a minute, the full house at Trent Bridge, the noise, the atmosphere, it should have been a memorable occasion for the England captain. And it's spoiled by the way the majority of his team batted. And they owe their captain one when they're in the second innings, and they'll owe him a bit of fight, because passages are played today. Joe Root was fighting for his country. He was England captain. He looked like a proper Test player, and he went by the milestone. And I was so proud to say, I'm really, really proud to say I've played alongside this kid, because he is the greatest player that's ever played the game for England. He's just gone and proved that. So he's a great ambassador for our country, and unfortunately, it's a poor day to go past that milestone, because I think he's been let down by his teammates today.
Okay, well, look, I'll wrap it up with a bit of a negative one. Rory Burns today dismissed for a duck, one of 4 English batsmen to do so. The 5th time in 11 innings that he has been dismissed without scoring. And when you look at the batting order that England have brought into this Test match, it just shows the malaise that surrounds this side. Burns, Crawley, Sibley, Bairstow and Lawrence, the first 5 batsmen to be dismissed today. All 5 of those players have been tried out in the top 3. Yeah. 5 of them. And then you add Joe Root to that as well, of course. He was tried out as an opener back in the day and, of course, has batted at 3 as well. So 6, essentially the top 6 for England have been tried out as either openers or as number 3. And you've got to say, there's always a fall guy in these situations. Burns has been that fall guy in the past. So is Bairstow, so is Root, so is Lawrence. But of all the people that position looks the most precarious, it's got to be Rory Burns. His 5th duck in 5 innings, in 11 innings. And anyone can get a good nut early on, but, you know, for me, is the moment of the day. Once again, raising the spectre. The real problem England have got. There's no chance of this ever happening. Scoring big runs. Although saying that, England scored 600 at Chennai, and I think one of their batsmen was out for a duck. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to Harmy's tip. Still trying to check to see if I'm wrong or not. Day 2, day 1. Come on, I'll get there. Yeah, Lawrence was out for a duck on that day, and England still made 600 odd, but he was coming in at 3. Come then, Harmy. What's your tip? Let's leave all the England fans who've watched 7 for 12 today can leave a little bit in a bit of a brighter mood after what's been a pretty downbeat day. What can England do to make sure we don't have to sit through what we sat through today on day 1 here at Trent Bridge?
Well, you're talking about learning, you're talking about sitting through, and you're talking about watching. Well, for me, England have got to learn from their batters have got to learn from their captain. You've mentioned you've gone through the batting unit. You've gone through what conundrums they've had. These are professional sportsmen. They're trying their best. I know they're trying their best. Been in this situation many times when everybody's questioning you and things aren't going well. You have to stick together, boys. Stick together, but try and learn, from greatness. And today, greatness. He only got 64. But the wickets were falling around him. His movements were unbelievable. His balance was very, very good. His decision making was first class. And when he went to attack the ball, he was committed to doing that. And for me, it was a masterclass in 89 balls of how to play in English conditions against a good bowling attack. And that's the way Joe Root played today. I think England's batsmen can have a look at the way he's changed a little bit in technique-wise to sort of try and help him get better and improve. And today, I think England's batting unit can learn from their captain. Play the ball from within yourself. Play it right under your nose. Let the ball come to you. If there's anything offline, make them pay and punish them and put pressure on the bowlers when you can. And obviously no hard hands. I don't think England's top order batsmen had them sort of thought processes going through their mind today. Burns was done by a very, very good bit of bowling, but still, how many times have we seen Rory Burns off balance at the point of dismissal? Sibley the same, playing the same shot. Crawley looked a bit off balance again, even though I think Crawley's made a technical change, which I think has helped his balance a lot from the start of the summer, which is encouraging. But England at this minute in time, they've not just got a world-class captain. From a batting point of view, it just seems to be the only one they've got. The only thing they've got at this minute in time, from making the roof really, really cave in. I keep going back. This is the first test match of a run of 10 against very, very good bowlers. And that, for me, is something that is worrying for an England fan.
I was supposed to feel better. I thought I was going to head out into the Nottingham night on a Wednesday, full of vim and vigor. Oh well, never mind. Well, look, I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can either. Do you know what's even more worrying, Harmy? You don't even seem angry today. You seem disappointed. Let's hope things turn around after day 2. Otherwise, it could be a very long summer for us, although a really enjoyable one for all the Indian fans who have been watching. And thanks for watching. 7 for 12 will be back following day 2 of the first test match at Trent Bridge. Please, if you got this far, then like, subscribe, review, tell all your mates, and we'll be back. I'm John Norman. He is Steve Harmison. And this It's 7 for 12.